Hello, my name is Andy Kippax. I'm the Strategic Housing Lead at Stockport Council. I'm here to talk about the Council's rent and service charge proposals for 2022 and 2023. The use of council rents, known as the Housing Revenue Account, or HRA, must be used to support the management and maintenance of the council housing and is carefully controlled by government guidance. It's important for you to know that at this stage these are proposals only, with final decisions being made by councillors in February and any agreed increases coming into effect in April 2022. We welcome any feedback or questions you may have on the proposals, and we will be incorporating tenants' comments into the final recommendations for consideration by council members in February. In 2016, the government imposed a 1% annual rent reduction for 4 years for all social housing, resulting in your rent going down by about £2.64 per week. Current rents are therefore now at the same levels as 6 years ago, and Stockport's rents are amongst the lowest in Greater Manchester and less than half the level of rents in the private sector. The rent reduction, however, meant that the income to the council received from rent payments reduced significantly by about £19 million up until 2021-22 this year. This directly impacted on the monies available for capital investments in your homes. At the same time as the income has reduced, building repairs and maintenance costs have increased by over 30% in the last 6 years, and the council is facing additional investment requirements for the housing, particularly in relation to building safety and carbon reduction obligations. In truth, this has all created a perfect storm and is meaning we're having to reassess the investments and improvements we all want to see in the housing. In 2019, the council approved a rent strategy for the following 5 years to control any proposed changes in rent in line with government guidance. The 2022-2023 proposals follow the council's approved rent strategy and would see social and affordable rent prices increased by the Consumer Price Index, sometimes referred to as CPI, plus 1%. The CPI in September 2021 was 3.1%, meaning that the proposed rent increase will be 4.1%. Although this increase is slightly higher for this individual year than was originally envisaged in the rent strategy, this has to be considered in light of last year's increase, which because of the low inflation rate in September 2020 was lower than anticipated. If this year's proposed increase is approved, the overall increase over the last 2 years will still be less than envisaged in the original approved rent strategy. Secondly, the 4-year rent reduction. Current rent levels are the same as 6 years ago. Thirdly, the significant increase in building costs, much of which is beyond the control of Stockport Homes or the council. The additional obligations and requirements that we face looking at the housing that we've got. Shared ownership increases, rents will increase in line with legal leases. This rent increase will support the capital investment programme, which will enable us to continue to meet the Decent Home Standard and deliver further improvements, such as the recent sprinkler installations to improve fire safety. By increasing weekly rents at 4.1%, this will result in social rents increasing by approximately £3.11 per week, and affordable rents increasing by approximately £5.10 per week. This would still mean that the rent is less than half the cost of private rents. The proposals will also affect some service charges, which cover additional services not covered by the rent. Service charges must be used to fund the particular service and cannot make a surplus or a profit, with the general principle being that as far as possible service charges should cover the actual cost of the service and not be subsidised by the rents. Individual heating and communal electricity service charges apply to a number of tenants and are calculated on a scheme-by-scheme basis. It has been widely reported in the media that energy prices are increasing significantly across the UK. Improved insulation, the use of renewable technologies and the bulk purchase procurement system utilised by Stockport Homes means that the impact of these reported external price increases has been minimised for council tenants, and as a result the proposed increases are far less than faced by the general public. Over the last 2 years there has been no increase for individual heating charges, but this year, with the increase in wholesale costs, we're proposing an increase of 3.2%. Charges for a number of other services are proposed to be frozen or increased by less than CPI plus 1%, including window cleaning, concierge, individual heating, Wi-Fi and the majority of charges in temporary accommodation. Bringing all the service charge proposals together, 79% of tenants would see an increase of less than £1 per week, 14% between £1 and £2 a week, and 7% or 390 households more than £2 a week, but with a maximum increase of £4 per week. If you have any comments, questions or feedback, then please use the link in the caption to share these with us. All feedback will be incorporated into a final report which will be taken forward to be considered by Cabinet members, then by scrutiny and finally by the full Cabinet and Council. Thank you for listening.